I do know one thing for sure, that money's worth nothing. This idea that cash is king was a lie. In God we trust on the back of the bill. It's paper that's printed over and over and over again.
Do you believe in crypto as...
Yeah, Yeah, very much so.
90,000 today could be 30,000 a week from now.
Yeah, and I buy some more. I expect it to go there, actually. I think it does.
Go back down.
Yeah,
Would you consider going into the administration to help your friend, President-elect Trump?
I would go, yes, yeah, I would. But to help the people. The only way I would try to sell a home in America today is if I offered owner financing. If I was buying a house, the only way I would try to buy a house is with creative owner financing.
Because the cost of money's gotten too high.
Yeah, because you're basically solving a problem that banks can't solve right now, and you become cheap money.
Because I have the ability to back it.
Yeah, exactly. So like I have a house in Miami, and we put it on the market, right? We put it on the market for a bunch of Bitcoin. It was really just to come on, right? So to get a bunch of attention. If I list the house, it's just another house. But because I said I will only take Bitcoin, and then boom, everybody started covering. So this rapper calls me and says, "Hey, will you sell me your house?" I said, "Sure, 20 million down." I think it was 20. I forget what I offered him. 20. I said, 20, and I'll carry the other 20 for you at like nothing. And because I was really hoping he would just give me the 20, make 6 or 8 months of payments.
And get a house back.
And then fucking
default.
Bust out. And I get the house twice.
Do you believe in crypto as...
Yeah, Yeah, very much so.
And you believe it's going to be consistent with the dollar over time? It's a new currency?
Well, I'm just starting to really do my 100 hours on investigating. I was with Mike Saylor last Friday while they were buying $4 billion worth.
You talked to Scaramucci?
Yeah, I have talked to Scaramucci.
Do you like him?
Yeah, I'd want to like him. I do want to like him. Very intelligent guy.
He's easy to like. He doesn't like Trump. That's personal.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, that's the part that throws me off a little bit. He's so personal about it. I'm like, bro, just let it go, man. Like,
well,
it doesn't have to be your leading Trump, your first card.
If he had said about you what he said about Anthony and his wife, by the way, then would you forgive it so easy?
I don't know. We'll go there in a second.
You see, Cardone. This is the problem with the handsome guys.
No, I don't know. I don't think I would have got in that shit match in the first place.
Yeah, well, that's Anthony.
Yeah.
He's another brand of Italian, kind of like you. The Italians with the fine features.
Look at that motherfucker ugly.
No.
Scaramucci?
Not for an Italian man.
You think,
pretty face.
You're a good looking man.
Pretty face.
Talking about?
But I have big, chewy
pull up
features.
A picture of Scaramucci. I got to know.
I have
the same
Are we talking about the same guy?
Yeah.
You've been talking about like some other guy. But he's got the fine features. He's got the fine nose, fine,
What are you talking about, dude?
I know what Anthony looks like. He's one of my friends.
He doesn't know how to dress.
He is.
Okay.
He's vertically challenged. Huh? He's vertically challenged.
Vertically challenged.
Yeah.
Okay. He never takes care of himself. He's fucking flabby.
He's had health issues. He's had health issues. He's getting over them. But his face, I only want to stipulate to the face.
Bro, he looks like a caveman. What are you talking about?
No. For an Italian, bro, very fine features.
Oh my God.
Telling you. That's why you know he's Sicilian. Because
are you privately gay? Are you a gay man?
No. I'm a straight man, but I can appreciate when a man is good looking.
Yeah. So back to crypto. Okay.
Yes.
So what I am not a gambler. I get bet on it. I own no gold, no stocks, no silver, nothing. But I do know one thing for sure, that money's worth nothing. This idea that cash is king was a lie. In God we trust on the back of the bill. It's garbage, dude.
Why?
Because nothing. It's just it's paper that's printed over and over and over again. So like what I do is I want people, I want connections. Okay, we have a connection. You and I have a connection, and we figure out how to do some business. And you give me some paper for it. I don't want that piece of paper because I'm gonna lose it. Somebody's gonna steal it. Government's gonna tax it. My kids are going to grab it. My wife thinks she's entitled to it.
She's right. Legally,
that's some of my,
by the way.
I leave it in my desk. The next thing you know, it's missing. The maid grabs it. So what I do is I've learned how to convert the paper to something real, like this building, or lots of these buildings.
So you're all about real estate.
Well, but real estate's got its problems. Okay, it's slow. It's heavy. It has termites and tenants and toilets and roofs and all the bullshit, right? But it comes with great tax write-offs. So the thing about Bitcoin's like, Saylor talks about it being Manhattan in cyberspace, right? Because it can move, it's very fluid. But I think once, I would never bet on Bitcoin in the beginning to create wealth. I would use people, if that's not a terrible word, use in a good way, that we're using one another, right? To get fiat, to invest in something real and get that real thing to pay me cash. And I would use the distributions to live off of or to buy my Bitcoin investment.
How do you deal with the volatility?
Well, I don't ever trade anything. So,
But I'm saying if you put up the Bitcoin.
I'm married 21 years, so.
Good.
I don't do trades.
That's a good investment.
Right.
But let's say it's.
And we're going to, neither one of us are going to look as good as the Bitcoin will in 20 years from now.
Well, that's for sure. I don't know. Your age and Will, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But 90,000 today could be 30,000 a week from now.
Yeah, and I buy some more. And I expect it to go there, actually. I think it does.
Go back down.
Yeah, huh? But I'm a 10-year guy. I'm a 10, 15, 20-year guy.
You're a patient guy.
Like if you look at because you're Catholic, right?
Yeah. I was raised Catholic.
So not the Vatican. What's the name of the building that's and everybody loves so much?
The Vatican.
Oh, it's the Vatican?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, how long?
Yeah, they got St. Peter's Basilica there.
There you go. That's what I was thinking of. How long has that building been there?
Long time.
The Catholic Church owns more real estate than any other group on planet Earth. So if you can go long periods of time, you're going to be fine. But if you're trying to get in and out, Trump lost the plaza, over-leveraged it. Probably, top 5 pieces of real estate on planet Earth, over-leveraged it, couldn't weather the storm, lost it. It's got to be one of his great regrets.
Probably because the prestige of that building, that made him what they call in Yiddish a macher. He was a top tier guy.
Totally.
With that. And then when it went down, it defined him for a long time. Would you consider going into the administration to help your friend, President-elect Trump?
I would go, yes. Yeah, I would. Yeah, but to help the people.
Yeah, why else would you go?
Yeah, I would. Well, not to help him so much. I would do it to help the people. I think if I could get a position where I could actually help transform things, which I think could be very easily done, by the way.
Easily done.
I think there's a number of things that could be easily done.
What can be done easily?
Well, for instance, that night that you were so nice to have me on your show, and
we're going to do it again.
Okay, with
you know why? Because he's handsome. Go ahead.
Okay, with Bill was on. I didn't know he was going to be on. Right, I've never debated a politician, but I'm like, these guys are out of ideas. Like I'm like that wasn't a debate. He has no solutions except Section 8, government, raise taxes, build something. You don't need to do that shit. Like there's so many things that can be done that a businessman does with no budget.
Like that government can do, because government isn't based on working on a profit. They don't have business savvy people.
I was at an event this morning with, what was it, Bazinga? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I left my event yesterday. I had 1,100 people at the event for 2 days. I come to their event. They got fucking 35 people there because they're funded. They raised money from some investors, and they don't know how to get money to fill the room. So I've never taken any investors' money. In the beginning, we took no money. I have no promotion, like no sponsorship. I just learned how to get money, right? So with the government, the problem with the government is it just always gets money from another group, where business people would. The housing problem. There's 4 million vacant homes right now in America today that you could literally give to someone. There's not 4 million. There's not shortage of housing in America.
Everybody says there's a shortage of housing.
It's bullshit. It's not true.
Is it because those homes are not affordable or habitable?
There's empty bedrooms. Look, this is one of them. I could sleep here tonight if I made the right deal with you. I don't need to go buy a house.
You wouldn't have to make a deal.
Huh?
If you wanted to stay here, the answer would be yes.
Okay. But they're all over the place. But the government says, we have to build something new and we have to raise dollars and we need to make another rule and another law. It's not necessary. Okay, go to Dubai. You've been to Dubai. Look how they're building over there. I go to New Jersey. I cross the river over there. It takes 7 years to build something.
So you think it's regulations?
100% regulations. And they should give incentives to a guy like me. I have 15,000 apartments. There's 1,000 of them are vacant right now. If they came to me and said, fill those units up, we'll give you no taxes on those 1,500 units. I'd fucking fill them up.
So wait, hold on.
And it'd be a good deal for them.
I get it.
It'd be a good deal for the city. It's a good deal for me, the investor. There are already vacant units all over New York, all over New Jersey, all over Miami.
So wait, so slow it down for me. Why are there 4 million vacant homes? Why are there 1,000 vacant Cardone apartments?
Because nobody can keep anything full because I have this somebody coming in, then they're going to leave. Nobody stays full. Nobody ever builds the right amount.
So you don't believe it's a supply issue?
No, 100% I don't. But I tend to think I bend around corners. So even if it is a supply issue, like he wants to build on federal land. I mean, who wants to live on federal land?
People who can't live anywhere else?
But then they don't have a job.
Because you can't get anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, like there's no jobs out there. So that's the problem. 80% of the population lives in like 20 cities. And those cities are going to get bigger. And it's just,
do you think the cities get bigger? Or do you think people with remote work and stuff like that just start moving into places that are more sparsely populated?
I think the remote work failed.
Really?
And it will never work. And you're going to see people go back to office buildings.
Really?
Yeah, and you're going to have bigger office buildings, not smaller ones.
Really?
Yeah.
This is very unconventional thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got to tell you, well, my business is a little different. It isn't working well in my business. You need to be around. I know right now my team's like this guy. I'm only there like once a week. It's different.
Yeah.
I do my own writing. I talk to Dusty, my EP, all day long. But the connective tissue matters in my business. But for a lot of people, I have people who work remote.
They like it. The company doesn't.
You don't think the efficiency's there?
Doesn't. No, I know it. I mean, you look, they've all quit it. Everybody that was for it, everybody that said it was going to work. I don't know how you look like this on that couch the whole time like this. I feel uncomfortable for you.
Why?
Because it's like that.
Oh, no. It's just fine. I'm sitting like this because I have herniated discs in my back from the fighting. And
who are you fighting?
I have been doing different kinds of self-defense and ground fighting for 35 years. But I got kicked like 2 weeks ago by mistake. We were sparring, but I mean, and I'm old. So like shit that used to hurt is now an injury.
Yeah.
So I'm just living on a leave and waiting for it to go away.
Well, you look good for being old, dude. You look good for being old. So,
so continue your point.
What was it? What we were talking about?
See that? You don't even remember?
No. You see?
So
I'm thinking about your back.
Thank you very much. You are
because I know what pain's like. Pain's terrible, man.
Pain is terrible. You read the Sarno book?
No.
See, we're similar. We jump around topics. It's the way our brains.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's good though. The Sarno book, "Oh, My Aching Back," is a good way to deal with the pain. The pain is real, but your tension around it makes it stay.
Yeah.
You were taking me through housing and then the transition
remote work. Yeah. So we have 260 employees in Miami, another 250 or so in Arizona. We never shut down. You come to work every day, sometimes 6 and 7 days a week. And if you don't want to, you just don't get to work there. So we never, ever shut down. I never bought the bullshit.
How many people did you lose?
Oh, I don't know. I've hired thousands of people.
But I'm saying,
like I've been through thousands of people.
But I'm
proud of my turnover.
I'm not saying turnover in terms of the nature of your business dynamic. I'm saying from that decision.
No, we grew. I mean, we just grew. Net, we grew.
So during the pandemic, people didn't say, "I can't come in. It's too dangerous"?
Sure they did. And then we found people that would. You remember, I think it was September 23rd or something, and Google and the banks and Facebook said, on September, there was some date. Let's pretend it was that date. On this date, if you don't get vaccinated, you cannot work here anymore.
Right.
Okay, so the date, when I saw that coming down, 2 days before that, it was a Monday, I advertised on Google and Facebook and just did a little meme, did a little pop up. If you work for Google, any of the banks, Facebook, the airlines, I will hire you, relocate you. We had 4,700 resumes in 48 hours.
Wow.
We couldn't even respond to all of them.
I bet.
We opened a remote thing up. We did a remote thing and said, hey, we're going to hire salespeople from around the country. You get to stay where you're at. It was a bit of a come on. You can stay remote, okay? We had 6,000 interviews. Now, what happened was those people that we hired, we then invited into our office and said, would you like to be in this environment or would you like to go home and do this on your own? And they're like, man, I'd rather stay here because of the environment. And that's the problem with office, right? The real problem with office is not where somebody wants to be. It's that the company's not providing a winning environment and a culture where there's pressure and compression and motivation and excitement.
I think that's why leadership is so important. One of the reasons is culture. Whether it's you, Anthony, who's better looking than you give him credit for, or our friend Patrick, Bet David.
Yeah.
You go to that valuetainment place.
Yeah.
Those people, and I know it's not just valuetainment. He's got his consulting. He's got the insurance. They believe.
Oh, yeah.
As a team.
Yeah.
In that place, and it's such a force multiplier.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting transition point for us because I believe that belief, reason to believe, is really at a low right now. Somebody said something to me this morning that made me realize I don't hear people say enough. Like the flag has become the Republican Party symbol. I don't know why the Democrats gave it to the Republicans, but they did. You see I have a flag on my truck.
Right.
People say to me, I don't have like a big flag hanging off. I have a stick. And they'll say to me,
you don't have a 40-footer?
Yeah. They'll say, why do you have a flag on your truck?
Yeah.
I'll say, because I'm proud of my country.
Exactly.
And they're like, oh, I'm surprised that you do that because Democrats hate the country. I was like, first of all, Democrats don't hate the country.
Right.
I'm not a Democrat. But the point remains, where do you think we are and how fundamental is it to what you say in terms of getting things done easily that you believe that that's the culture, that that's where you are, that people are motivated to do things different?
Yeah, I mean, look, man, belief is everything. Like, and most of the time I don't have it. I grew up very similar situation to you. You had way more connections than I did, but you had them all. Like I wasn't connected. You didn't have money maybe, but I don't know, maybe you did.
No.
We didn't have money and I didn't have a father. Okay. And so all I had was stories about the Great Depression, food lines, be grateful for what you have. Like you need to be happy. I'm like, fucking happy. Goddamn. Everybody's worried every goddamn day. You're clipping coupons. You're spending freaking money. My mama just sat there and clipped on the dotted line. She knew where every one of those coupons were. She knew what day they worked. I mean, she's like, stay out of that drawer. I'm an identical twin. We're the last of 5 kids. And me and my brother, I'm 11 years old. We're in there pissing down the hallway. I piss. I go to flush. And my mom's like, no, let him piss too. Like, save the water. Everything was about saving, fear. There was so much fear. We were middle class. We were a middle class family, but there was fear everywhere. No belief. Or really the belief was negative. You're going to go broke. Something bad's going to happen. The roofer's going to fuck you. Car dealer's going to screw you. You can't make any investments. The investment guy's going to screw you. Everything was like, it was just terrible, dude.
Hey, that's exactly what just decided this election, by the way, is you have a majority, right? I mean, the numbers are the numbers. You have a majority in the country, and, the Democrats lost the plot on this point, that the pain is real out there. And it's not a relative assessment. No one wants to say, well, but Grant's got it worse than you do.
Right.
I'm sorry for Grant.
Right.
I worry about me. Or, the economy's not what it was a year ago. We're in a better place now. I don't feel better.
Right.
I'm worried about everything. Yeah. I cannot live the dream. And the American dream is largely about having things.
Yeah. And they're seeing it now on Instagram. This is the other thing that's happened that I think is that nobody's talking about. When social media hit and people like idiots like me start showing off their plane and their car, all of a sudden it becomes real. And I think people have seen possibility.
So wait, you see it as aspirational.
It's aspiration, like
not them judging you, like you're part of the elite. Now I have to hate you.
Well, they are. There is some of that, but when it scales so hard, it used to be the kings, hid behind the walls, right? You did unless you got in the bedroom, you didn't see what the sheets were like. Today, man, you can see the sheets. You can see the sheets, the lifestyle, the trips, the vacations, the watches, the cars. Like for the first time ever, the cover on the rich has been pulled back. And it's normal people. Like, I'm a normal guy. I grew up in the bayous of Louisiana, dude. Like people are like, he can do that, I can do this. And I think that's very aspirational. And that's the leadership that you're talking about, the believability of like, he can do it, I can do it.
I don't like I mean,
your shape and your condition, your muscle tells me, hey, if he can have that at 64 years old, I can.
I'm 54. I'm 54.
Scaramucci.
I'll kick you right in the neck.
Scaramucci. Scaramucci, when he's like the way he walks around, I'm like, oh shit.
He's had health issues.
Whatever.
He was a college lacrosse player.
Whatever.
I'm telling you, he'll be back.
Have you had health issues?
Oh,
I've had health issues.
I am a health issue.
Please. So,
I am a virus.
but you look good. But you look good.
When you look at government, other than this kind of rigged capital system,
Yeah.
you were enthusiastic about the president getting in because you believe things need to be disrupted and changed.
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, first of all, I don't believe he's a Republican. So let me just get that out of the way for everybody. I don't think Donald Trump is a Republican.
What is he?
I think the Republican Party is not the Republican. I think it's a MAGA. I think this is a new thing, man.
So wait, he's not a Republican and the Republicans aren't the Republicans. So who are they?
I think some of those guys are Republicans. But I think
What is he?
I think he's a freak of nature.
Politically, what is he?
I don't think he's a Republican. I think he's MAGA, actually. I think this MAGA thing is actually a real thing now. I wouldn't have said that 4 or 5 years ago. Something happened where this Make America Great Again thing is starting to really resonate with people. Like, yeah, I want my country back. I want greatness. I want potential.
Back from who?
I want it back from drifting off into fucking boys' bathrooms and Ukraine and like the drift to save the world. Okay, and it's fine. Save the whole world if your cities are fine. But you know, our resources are starting to look depleted.
Why Ukraine and not Israel?
Israel too, by the way. If I was president, I'd say we're banning all wars for 12 years. We're not going to fucking invest anything. You guys kill yourselves. Go for it. You got 12 years. Fucking hit it. Hit it hard. But we're going to stay out all your bullshit. We're going to reinvest all the money right here in America. In 12 years from now, y'all going to look up and see a freaking super country.
But what about your allies?
I'm not worried about them right now for a short period of time. I know. It seems impossible.
I mean, Ukraine is one thing, but
I would not have the IRS. I would not collect no Internal Revenue Service taxes.
Then where do you get the revenue for the government?
Property taxes. So I didn't pay any federal last year.
Well, then wouldn't that affect people's ability to buy property?
No.
Why not?
Because I have more money now.
Oh, because there's no income.
Let's say I made $10 million last year, and now I'll pay $4 million in federal. I have $4 million to invest.
But isn't it just shifting pockets? But now you're going to have to pay a lot more in property taxes.
No, yeah, it's back to my pocket. Not Adam Schiff or, whoever these people are. Donald Trump. It shouldn't be up to Donald Trump how we use money. Or Barack. It shouldn't be up to those people. It should be up to me how I use my money. Let me just go work my money.
But then what funds the government? Property taxes.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't they have to be crazy high?
No, but they were like last year, I paid no federal, no federal taxes, but I paid $40 million in property taxes. I paid a bunch of Social Security taxes. I have a bunch of employees. Mm-hmm. So I'm contributing, but only at the local level. So why should I fund New York City if I'm not invested here?
Because we're all in it together. That's why. Because it's a country, you're supposed to take care of each other.
Well, how do you explain how Mississippi and Louisiana then?
Because we don't do it well.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's what, look, why do we call America the experiment? We call America the experiment, or America is referred to as an experiment because nobody's ever done this before.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
We should experiment with some of this new stuff then.
I think that there is, what do they call it? Paralysis by analysis. We live in a society that is driven by me making advantage over proving you fucked up. Mm-hmm. Personally, all day long. Anything I can get you on. Doesn't matter what you did. You could be saving a child from the mouth of a tiger.
Right.
If I find out that you also did this thing that's somehow moral, it's got to be moral. It's got to be moral or immoral because we are a completely faux puritanical society, right? We'll kill you for that, but we all do it, right? If I show a nipple on TV tonight, I'm done. I'm fired. We consume more porn than any other country per capita.
Right.
So it's got to be moral. So on the personal level, all got you all the time. Mm-hmm. And then in terms of how we look at government and look at people who try things, the expression is America loves a comeback. Yeah, after we killed you the first time.
Yeah.
Once we killed you the first time, then we'll see if you can come back. I think that's a reason that people don't experiment. Now, not I'm saying on the big level. You experimented. You made ways of doing things that, were very risky, and now you know how to do them and reduce the risk. But on the government level, on the political level, people don't want to take risks because you get judged by your failures, not your successes.
Yeah. But when you got a guy like Elon getting in there saying, hey, I don't care.
Yeah.
Or he does care more and has nothing to lose.
He doesn't care about what people say about what he does.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And he's not going to be up for another term either, having to sell himself.
Neither is Trump.
Yeah. I think that's a great combination.
What do you think of people who say, whoa, what Cuomo just said, we don't know that's true. We don't know that he's going to leave. We don't know that he's not going on a revenge tour. We're not going that he wants to be a dictator. Hey, I hear it all the time.
Do you?
Yeah. And I got to tell you,
he's not a dictator.
You know what people don't like to hear? Me say that.
Yeah.
People get so mad at me.
This guy wants to win, period. I know this guy, high ego, extremely high ego. What's the value of an extremely high ego? I want to win. I want to look good, and I want to be remembered in a good way. He does not want to lose. He wants to do good things. Probably more so now, today, than even the first time.
He is not on the Cardone Cuomo fitness plan.
No, he's not, dude.
He may want to look good, but he has a different definition than you and I do.
I mean, there's something to be said. There's something to be said about a guy that can eat fucking McDonald's, drink Coca-Cola. Like, his belief right now might be like, I'm good. And belief, the mind over matter thing is real shit. You're in good shape because you believe you can be. Let's keep it real.
And I do the work.
And you do the work. But you wouldn't do the work if you didn't believe you could make yourself look a certain way.
It is true. So the number one thing that knocks you off a diet is that you feel that you're not going to meet your goal.
Right.
Why would I keep depriving myself?
Yeah.
I get it. And I think that translates. I think a big problem that we have now is that we're addicted to the negative. Mm-hmm. And we apply it nowhere else in our lives. I mean, just imagine parents talking to their kids the way we discuss our politics. And, me looking at my son and being, look, let's be honest, okay?
Yeah.
You're not going to set the world on fire, all right? I know you say you want to do this, you want to do that. I don't think you're going to do it.
Right.
And
this ain't going to work.
In politics, we do that all the time.
Right.
This one's worse than this one. Which one's worse? Your kid comes home. How'd you do on the test? I got a 71. 71? Hey, my friend got a 68. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That would never happen.
Right.
Pay with your kid.
Right.
But in politics, we do it all the time. This guy, oh man, he's got all these things wrong with him. Oh yeah, but she's kind of worse.
Right.
All right, then I got to go with him. We don't apply this anywhere else. When you're looking at investments and someone showed you, well, you're going to lose 18% on this one, but you lose 24% on that one. So let's invest it. You're like, get the fuck out of my office.
Exactly.
Our politics, we do not treat with that sense of pride in what it can be. But that's because the parties benefit from dragging us down. That's their currency. That's their investment.
You think both parties benefit from that?
Oh, yeah, all day.
Yeah.
Now, the Democrats made a fundamental...
you know much more about politics than I do. I have no idea how complicated.
I think that the problem is thinking it's complicated. It's real simple. It's all Occam's razor. It's all...
What is Occam's razor?
Straight line analysis of the most... the best solution will often be the most obvious, the most direct.
Fastest way for me.
And in politics, it's me versus Cardone in this election. I got a problem. This guy's got a lot of things going for him. I have to make him lose. I'm not going to beat him. It is too hard. It's too low percentage. What do we have on him? First thing I do is invest in people that can tell me what's wrong with Cardone. Here's the people. Here's what it is. That's all I'm talking about. And you're like, wait a minute. I thought we were trying to decide who's going to build the park.
Right.
For the kids. Yeah, but it can't be you.
Right.
Why not?
You're a bad guy.
Because I heard you
showed
did this
your nipple
thing
on TV one night.
I heard you did that.
Yeah.
And that's the easiest way. Especially in a binary system. That's why I have such a problem with the party system. If it's just you and them, what direction's it going to go? Us lifting each other up? No, it's a battle to the bottom. And the Democrats made the mistake of playing Trump's game, which is grievance. Trump was the head of a grievance movement, right? And as the head of a grievance movement, if you get into the which is worse, you lose. Because he was coming into it with people wanting to disrupt everything she represents. Not her race or her gender necessarily, right? Racism, sexism, that's a real thing. But this election overall was, who's more pissed? His side's more pissed. Now, I didn't know his side was a majority of the country.
Yeah.
I thought it was his race to lose, but I did not think he'd win the popular vote.
And she was a terrible option.
She was put in a bad position. I had a guy today say she should have declined to run. She should have known that she was going to be a bad candidate.
Didn't everybody else around her, though? Isn't that how she got Timmy?
But Walls?
I mean, yeah.
Well, they always try to balance tickets.
Yeah, that was
You think she should have picked Shapiro?
She should have picked anybody. I don't think she did the picking. I think somebody said, I'll do it. I don't think she had a pick. I don't think anybody wanted to roll with her. Like, if I look at her as human talent, okay, and I'm like, okay, do I want her to run my company? Do I want her to communicate to my investors? Do I want her to sell my guys on being motivated? Fuck, none of that. None of that. Like, she's got nothing. I mean, maybe she's intelligent, but where is it? I didn't see it. I didn't hear it.
She's got to be intelligent. Lawyer, prosecutor, attorney general, senator.
Why does she have to be?
Because being an attorney general is not an easy job.
Okay, maybe.
You got to be smart.
I don't know. I have no clue what she did as an attorney general.
Being a state senator.
She was in California, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you anti-California?
I lived there for 25 years. They fucking ruined the greatest resources this country has. Fucking ruined it.
So
14.4% state income tax.
Right.
Okay. They're going to have a $2 gas tax by 2030. That means if gasoline is $4 here, it's going to be $6 there. It's insanity. Most expensive housing in the country. 5 of the 8 most expensive cities in the country are in California.
Why?
They have the most housing because they regulate everything. Housing controls, eviction moratoriums. You can't raise rents. If you can't raise rents, the property values are going to explode. Rent is what actually keeps the property values down.
Because it creates a competitive market.
Yeah, because it creates a competitive market.
For sell to rent,
exactly.
Is what I mean.
And then they fund all these programs. Have you been to San Diego lately?
Oh, yes, I have.
Yeah. Dude, that's the most beautiful city in the United States up until about 5 years ago. They ruined it.
Because?
They let all the homeless shelters into downtown by the baseball park. Guys are building putting $10 and $20 billion worth of investments. And then somebody said, let homeless live down there. And it just like overnight turned into shit.
What would you do with the homeless?
Man, that's a complicated one right there. I tell you what, I'd worry about them though before I'd worry about Ukraine. You know, that's $250 billion. That would have solved some problems.
So what do you do with Russia going in there?
Well, I personally,
yeah.
I mean, nobody's going to like what I'm going to say.
I'm here for your take.
Thank you. I'm here for you.
Not for you to please people.
I'd be like, let them work it out, dude. If I was, I mean, I wouldn't take on Putin. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want real estate. He wants his front yard. He wants his front door, his front wall protected. I think Joe Biden gave him permission to go in there.
Oh, you do?
100%.
Really?
How could he make a move without the approval of the sitting president?
By doing it without the approval of the sitting president?
He went and sat there for 3 weeks. He sat on that border for 3 weeks and then moved. There's no way.
But they were telling him not to do it.
You know more about politics than I do.
They were telling him not to do it.
No, that's what they were telling us. They were saying to him.
Yes, that's what they were saying to us. They were saying to him.
Yeah.
And then he went in.
Yeah.
And then we gave all this stuff
when I was
to
a single man, women would say, I'm not sleeping with you. I'm not sleeping with you. I'm not sleeping with you. I'm like, oh yeah, for sure you're sleeping with me. You said it too many times now. like, you know what I'm saying?
Quite the charmer.
No, I'm just saying, like.
But why did we give Ukraine all these weapons then if we wanted Russia to go in there? If we told them they should go in?
Here, we look good. We haven't given them what they need to stop a war, to be an equal. And then BlackRock and Blackstone and Vanguard have already got their deal over there. That deal's done. That deal was inked. So they're going to rebuild it. There's going to be a victor. This has happened 5 or 6 or 7 times in your life.
So you believe that the forever wars is a real thing in America that people want to see them stop. Get us out of that.
I think Americans, as a majority right now, are like, I don't want to do any more of this.
Do you believe
I want to invest that money here in America? Like the argument I have, I'm a generous person. I don't mind paying taxes, but I'm not getting anything back. Like, show me what I got. I don't mind helping anyone, right? Show me what I got. Nobody can show me what I'm getting. And if you can't show me a receipt that me paying federal taxes funds Ukraine, and that somehow made my family better, my community better, my customers better, my investors better, my real estate better, my future better, I just don't get it. I couldn't find Ukraine on a map before this happened.
I mean, look, I think the president is a lot the same way, not just the map part, that he does not believe. I remember him talking about the Iraq War. I remember him, look, he may have vacillated a little bit. Right. Oh, long before. Yeah. But he may have vacillated a little bit, but he was definitely outspoken about saying, we're not going to get the oil. Like, well, why are we going there?
Right.
Now, there's a whole other theory of it, but you got to meet the people where they are. And it does seem from this past election that people want it rethought. This audience is a bunch of critical thinkers, independent, breaks center.
There's going to be a lot of hate here.
Breaks pretty open-minded. I have a lot of different people sit where you are.
Okay.
Breaks, I would say center left, but I have a lot more center right that have been enthusiastic about what I'm doing, and center left and on are very suspicious of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So what would you say to this audience?
Well, I would say, first of all, what you're doing to me now, Chris, is like much more welcoming, definitely more, makes me think more than the show you are doing.
But you just didn't like CNN.
No, I mean, no, I grew up on CNN. I grew up, I was
during the Trump administration.
I was a Democrat.
You didn't like CNN.
I don't like the talent on CNN. You know, I like you on there, but most of those people are not fucking very talented.
Talented meaning?
I don't like Fox either. I'll just tell you, I hate all this shit. Like, there is no show, like, show me, like, even during the day, CNBC's got their little money show, but they're not teaching anybody anything. There's no aspiration there. It's that percentage of the population. At night, everybody's just getting hit with, they're wrong. Like, what you're doing right now is neither one. It is a intellectual conversation, a consideration of like, can I even work my critical thinking muscle? What if we just did not collect $2 trillion in federal taxes? Oh, you can't do that. That's the first thing everybody says. Well, why not, dude? What if we just took 3 months and didn't collect a penny? I know the country's not going to stop. Like, why don't we have some exercises? Go back to exercising possibility. That's why I love your show. So that's what I would tell them. Guys, just ask, ask questions. And definitely, number two, don't make people wrong without checking out their track record. Like, we should measure information based on who's given them the message.
So Grant writes a letter to Trump in July, okay? And he says, I can be ready to roll out, make America wealthy again. The goal would be to build the strongest, most financially independent middle class on the planet. I would donate my time and educational resources to assist your administration in creating millions of new millionaires across the country. And the itemized part of it is a scale of 3 phases. 1, public awareness. The conversation we were having earlier about how you think you're supposed to do it versus how you could, okay? The second is...
Trump would sell it. Trump would bring the public awareness.
Right.
George Bush tried to do it. He was just a terrible pitchman.
Right. Well, Trump can certainly pitch.
Yeah.
The curriculum, which is the how-to. What do you have to do? And the third is the delivery. What's the delivery?
We didn't have it in 2002. We had TV channels only. Now you have Facebook, Instagram, Google, TikTok. You mandate, it would be a regulation. You mandate to these handful of companies, hey, it's going to be first. It's going to sit at the top. It's going to be free. Netflix, Prime, all of them. You guys, you're going to deliver this to the middle class. Everybody's going to have a chance to click it and watch it. We don't need TV networks. It doesn't need to cost the taxpayers money. Boom, you just use the vehicles that we already have in place. My phone, so I can deliver to kids. I can deliver to 12 years old, 32-year-olds, 62-year-olds.
I mean, I don't know why you couldn't use it. The networks, you got an easier reach. You got the FCC. Those are our airwaves that they're using for their signals. You have a different audience. It's an older audience. Look, I think it's a great idea. I think anything that empowers people and gives them a chance to recognize opportunity is a win.
Yeah.
When people define the American dream, I always believe it's the ability to succeed or fail on your own merits. I think one of the mistakes in our development, and it comes from a good place, I believe, which is we want to try to keep people from failing. And I think there's something loving about that. But there's also tough love. And there's also, well, who are you using to help those people? And is that fair? And what's the balance of equities? And I think that's a conversation that nobody likes having, because if you say, well, you got to be more tough love, well, now you sound harsh. You want people to lose then, right? You want bad things to happen. No, I don't want any bad things. Well, but they are going to happen your way. Well, they're going to happen anyway. And it's just going to happen to more people over more time, because to hold up some, you're going to wind up dragging down all at some point. That's why a lot of schools like teaching to the top. And then students find their place within that. You have different tracks of curriculum as a result. And you have different realities of one guy's going to work in the toll booth.
Yep.
And he's going to do what he's going to do. And the other guy's going to build the toll booth. Two different guys. And there's just different levels of aspiration. You would build the toll booth and I would be in it.
I don't think so.
But that's how we work together. Grant Cardone.
Thank you.
I appreciate the conversation.
Appreciate you.
I look forward to continuing.
Thank you for the kombucha.
The kombucha.
Kombucha.